Come on, Penny.
No, my scooter!
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon coming to you with something that's just a little bit different today. This was recommended to me by a certain Teacher's Pet level member. I hope you consider becoming a channel member if you're a fan of the channel, but you by all means do not have to. But this is an episode of a show I do remember called The Proud Family. I remember it being advertised quite a lot, but I've never seen it myself. This is the very first episode. I believe it's called Bring It On, and I'm not sure what the context is or even what the characters are. I kind of know the basics just from seeing it advertised back in the day, but I've never seen it, but we're going to explore it here together. If you're not subscribed to the channel, take a minute and subscribe to the channel by clicking the button below. I really appreciate it. Let's get straight into this episode.
And Michael, the Willie T. Ribs racer cheerleaders are about perfection. Hard work, sweat, tears, and pain. If you can't take a 5-story fall and bounce right up, you better bounce out of here now.
5 stories.
Dang, can't y'all take a joke?
What is this?
Can we just get on with it? If anyone doesn't like the way I'm running this tryout, you can break neck.
Okay. Yeah, so I was wondering, is this cheerleading tryouts? And these look like elementary school kids. I'm not sure. I don't see a whole lot of cheerleading teams in elementary school. Now, if it's middle school, certainly. Almost every middle school that I've ever seen or heard of or worked at has had some sort of cheerleading team. The tryouts are generally not quite this intense. Now, I think cheerleading teams have sort of an unfair reputation about this because there is some level of truth to it. It can get sort of intense. However, it's not quite to this level. This is obviously some sort of exaggeration of it, but let's keep going.
Now, the racers only need one more body on the squad, and it has to fit into this uniform.
No.
Well, I'm not joking, because this is the last uniform we've got.
Yeah, and she says it's the last uniform they have. That could not be allowed to happen, even if that were true. You cannot base this on the student's size. That is wrong in so many ways, you all can imagine. But they do have tryouts, and I have been, as an administrator, not involved in the tryouts, but people would come to me saying that it wasn't fair that they didn't make it. It can get a little intense. So it's very important that whoever's running the tryout, which would not be a child, mind you, it would be the adult sponsor of the cheerleaders. It is very important that they run it with integrity and have a lot of people will have outside judges come in or some sort of rubric or scale or whatever. It's going to be based on the student's ability to do certain moves or perform a routine that they learn at tryouts. It's not going to be based on the student's size. That would be a huge issue.
Racers spread happiness. Come on, everybody. Woo!
Next. U-G-L-Y. You ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
I don't know what this person is doing, but you don't just come in and do your own thing. I've seen this portrayed on television before or in movies where, like, someone will just come in and do like a random dance that they think people will be able to judge them on. It doesn't work like that. Number one, you get really strange things like this. And number two, think about it. To be completely fair, if you're going to score people fairly, they all have to be doing the same thing. And again, I saw a bunch of student cheerleaders over lounging around on a chair outside, which is weird on its own, but students do not judge this. That's just not the way it works.
Today's hot topic. Is it true that homieism has affected the Willie T. Ribs middle school tryouts? Let's watch.
If you're not a winner, you better go home. Cause I'm Penny Proud, I'm cute, and I'm loud, and I got it going on.
If you're not a friend of these Janae, you best be on the way.
And you see, that's one of the several reasons in my head why this doesn't happen, especially if this is middle or elementary school. Having students judge this is simply insane. If you do have tryouts where you're going to exclude people or cut people from the roster, you're going to have adults do it, or some people don't even feel comfortable doing it themselves as the cheerleading coach, so they will get outside people that are supposed to be unbiased. I've seen that work the other way before, but you want unbiased adults to judge. And it's judged again on how well they're able to perform whatever routine that they're all taught, the same one.
I've never seen moves like that before. There's no way you're not going to. I think I hear somebody calling me. I hate to admit it, but Tree Girl has got a point. You think so?
I know so. Miss, I'm cute. I'm loud. I'm penny. Pathetic.
Oh, you were good.
This girl has some issues, but I would be lying if I told you that I have not seen attitudes like this in real life. And I'm not sure. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments, or I may learn it during the course of watching this. I'm not sure if this is elementary school or middle school. Either way, it's really bad. Even at high school, I have seen this before, unfortunately, this sort of toxic culture. Now, I think a lot of people have it in their heads that all cheerleading teams are like that. That's simply not the case. That's an unfair generalization, I think. But this does exist. A lot of stereotypes, they do come from somewhere, and this one does have some roots in reality. It's not good, it's not positive, and most administrators, teachers, and cheerleading coaches really work hard to stamp this out when they see it. But this type of attitude does exist.
You already know, Sugar Mama.
Tus ojos brillan como diamantes opacos y el cabello de tus manos me pican como los de un puerco espín, pero a mi edad no puedo exigir.
And I'm sort of glad the little subtitles are on because I do speak Spanish. Yo puedo hablar español también, pero yo no entendí todo que él dijo. I didn't understand everything he said because his vocabulary was a little bit rich, as you can see. And does this guy not look like the Joker or something? He sort of reminds me of the Joker from Batman a little bit, but let's keep going.
I'm really sorry. Let's be cool, okay?
Save it, cornball. I'm already cool by myself. And your house stinks. Hey, guys, I saved seats for you. Penny, why don't you sit with us, too?
Oh, did you hear that? That's awful. So I did skip some of it, and she came over to her house the previous night, and she calls her a cornball. I'm not sure what that even means, but she calls her a name and is really mean to her. But when the cheerleaders come over, she's like, oh, why don't you sit with us too? That's awful. I've never seen that. That's really, really over the top. Now, have I seen lesser versions of that happen in real life? I certainly have. I think this is sort of exaggerated, but it does come from somewhere. The Gross Sisters is what she called them.
Sit, Sticky.
What?
You know you got guts coming over here, but it's cool. I mean, just because we take your money doesn't mean we don't have feelings. Speaking of which,
you know, I seem to remember these characters. He called them the Gross Sisters, which that's not a good name to call somebody, even if it's how they refer to themselves. I really don't know. But I do remember seeing, as I said, I saw this advertised a lot, the show. I don't think I ever watched it, but I saw it all the time. It was very popular back in the day. And I do remember seeing these characters, and she said something about paying them and taking their money. That is bullying, and that would be a potential suspension for these girls if they do that. That is awful. The whole taking the lunch money thing is a real thing in some places. I tend to see other forms of bullying far more common, but I suppose this exists also. No. Oh, man. Did you see that? That was a lot of cash. I thought that she was just going to give them change or whatever. That's awful, and she should go tell the principal or the teacher, and you can't let that type of bullying stand. You just can't.
Why are we paying to be with people we don't like when we can be with people we do like for free?
Good point.
Because I don't like La Cienega. She's turning my best friend against me. I wish she would just go away. I wish I never had to look at her ever again.
As in you would never want anything bad to happen to her, right?
I just wish she wasn't around ruining my life. I can't eat you guys. I'm out. I've got to get ready for the cheer off. Woo woo.
where you going, Three Eyes? I like that big head girl. You know, we ought to help her out. And I got an idea.
Oh, no. Now, what do they mean by helping her out? Based on what little I know about these characters so far, I don't feel too good about that. I am not sure. And you noticed the other character, did they call him Sticky? Is that his name? But he said, as in, we would hate for anything to ever happen to her, the girl that Penny is trying to stay away from or has something going on with because of the cheerleading tryout. Hopefully nothing bad happens here, but I don't feel great about it right now. Let's see what happens next.
Yo, Penny, the Gross sisters.
The
three
Gross
big
sisters.
ashy girls. They're gonna ruin La Cienaga's cheer.
Good.
No, not good. They're gonna straight jack her, and it's all because of you.
I didn't tell them to do anything.
True.
They think you did.
It wasn't that random, but it was directed toward the girls that she's having issues with. But she's right. She didn't tell them directly to do anything, but they sort of picked up on it and decided to take it upon themselves to mess them up here. I'm curious to see what happens now.
Please, they're just talking mess.
Oh, yeah? Well, peep this. I programmed my pager to pick up a signal from the
Pager.
government spy satellite.
Why?
Because I got it like that.
Wow.
They're gonna make La Cienega look fly, but it's not gonna be pretty.
What are you talking about, Sticky?
The Gross sisters turned the entire stage into a giant CD. And when they hit play, I believe La Cienega's gonna be singing I Believe I Can Fly.
What?
The Gross sisters did this by themselves?
I'm the one who came up with the flying dish idea. Do you know how long it took me to calculate the critical velocities?
Sticky!
The Gross sisters held me captive for the past 2 days. You have no idea what they did to me in there. I'll never be the same.
What?
But forget about me.
Yeah, so is he trying to say that they coerced him into helping them by threatening to beat him up or whatever? The Gross sisters, whoever they are, need to be reported. That is another potential suspension for them. That is just simply awful. And I'm wondering, like, what is motivating them to do all this? It doesn't make sense that they would just all of a sudden decide to help Penny in sort of a devious way here. Let's see what happens here in the end.
Well, it's all taken care of, Penny. La Cienega won't be saying any cheers today.
You guys, what are you doing?
What they do?
You got me all wrong. I would never do something like this.
This is what we do. All we have to do is pull this lever, and La Cienega's cheerleading career will be La history.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, no, I can't let you do this.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. She goes from being against it to be like, oh, that's really cool. I'm like, what? Did she just suddenly do a complete 180? But she caught herself here. She can't be a party to something like that, which shows, you know, that's a good character for Penny here. And I don't know if you saw what was on that little map. That looked like, if you remember the old board game Mousetrap. I don't know if they still make Mousetrap, but I do remember it way back in the day where, you know, you'd have the metal ball and this hits that and that rolls off of this. And it's sort of what it looked like on that map of hers.
And how do you plan on stopping it?
Oops, there it is.
Uh-oh. She set it off. You're telling me you trained a bunny somehow to like a living, breathing animal as part of this, and it jumped perfectly. I find that a little hard to believe.
We out.
Now they just
What
leave.
are we gonna do now?
It's like Mousetrap. Okay, is she gonna stop it? Go, Penny. Oh no, I'm so nervous. Come on, Penny.
No, my scooter!
Did you hear that? I don't know these characters very well, but what I'm picking up on is Penny has a pretty good character overall. Sticky, not so much. Did you see that? She tripped and she just fell like headlong into the stairs. And I was expecting him to say, "Oh no, Penny, watch out." But no, it's, "Oh no, my scooter." That's not the best attitude, is it?
Get off the stage, La Cienega. Back up. Wait your turn. I'm first. If you don't get off the stage, you're going to be the first cheerleader in outer space. Are you threatening me, Proud?
And honestly, investigating threats like that are sometimes more complicated than it seems, because she made a threat. I would call that a threat, but I've had people say stuff like that in a roundabout way. And then when they're sitting in the principal's office, it's all, "No, that's not what I meant. I meant she would be the first cheerleader in outer space because she's really smart and she's good at science. So I think she's going to grow up to be an astronaut. And I just meant that she's going to be the first cheerleader to actually go to outer space. People say stuff like that. They get into trouble and then they totally flip it around where, no, it wasn't a threat. Sometimes they are able to kind of do that because if you're going to take some pretty harsh measures against someone, you do need to be able to prove that they made a threat, which more often than not is really, really easy. But I've seen people do stuff like that. They'll make a comment that's not exactly a direct threat, as in, I'm gonna punch you in the face, something like that. But they'll say something in a roundabout way, and then when they get in trouble for it, it's all, I wasn't making a threat, but in the moment, they most certainly were making a threat. But let's keep going and see what happens here. Uh-oh. How high did she go? Did you see that? She went not only, a few feet, she went over the entire bleachers and stadium, which in most places, I don't know, 150 feet. So you're telling me she flew up that high and she's going to be just fine when she hits the ground? That is awful. This gross sisters, I think is what it was. They're going to have some answering to do. And look at this one right here, just like holding their hand out. Like that's what she does. She just holds her hand out like, pay me the money. Like what in the world? My hope is that the other cheerleader that had such a bad attitude before is at least appreciative of Penny kind of pushing her out of the way so she doesn't get thrown up in the air like that. Let's see what happens.
Introducing this year's Willie T. Ribs Spark Plugs.
Okay. Oh, okay. So Penny ends up, this is awful when you really think about it. A broken leg, and she has bandages on her head. How are some people not suspended and arrested probably for that? That would put some people in juvenile detention for sure. This is awful. And you see, I forgot what her name is. They said it a few times earlier. La Ciélaga. I don't remember. I'm sorry. It's my first time seeing it. But she's in her cheer outfit, just sort of looking at her like nothing's wrong. This is pretty bad. Hopefully, she changes her tune when they start talking here.
I guess I really owe you a big thank you for taking that little spin for me.
Yeah?
It's the least you can do. Sorry, can't do it. That's it. Ow.
That was not right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now you get it. I didn't know she was like that. The La Ciénaga I knew was a very nice person.
And at first I thought, how could you not know? But she was sort of two-faced there. If you remember, she would say one thing to Penny, and then when these cheerleaders who were making the decisions, apparently, even though that's really, really crazy for a kid to be able to do that, she was all nice to them. So I do sort of see that.
Someone you could depend on. Someone who
was 4 years old. But you know what? I'm the one who should be apologizing. I put a lot of pressure on you. I feel like I was losing my best friend.
I don't really see it that way, to be honest, because this girl on the right, although she's being just fine now, during the tryouts, she was, in my opinion, pretty horrible. I don't see cheerleading tryouts in real life quite that harsh, and she was really exhibiting what I would consider toxic cheer culture, which in most places I've been I don't see it that much. I have seen lesser versions of that, though, happen in real life.
You'll always be my best friend.
Really?
Know that. So we still cool?
Okay. It took me a minute. At first, I thought she said, no way, in the same cute little joking style that this show has had so far, but she says no that. Yeah, okay, so is she going to allow her on the cheer team? She could allow her on the cheer team and she just, heal up, and whenever she's better, she could cheer with them, but I don't know if that's going to happen here.
So, Dejanay, let me ask you something. If I wasn't hurt, who would you have picked for your La Ciénaga? Honestly? For real?
Dejanay!
All right. Well, that's the episode, my first episode of The Proud Family. Thank you once again for the recommendation. It was from a Teacher's Pet level member. Quick shout out to all of the channel members, especially the Teacher's Pet and Principal's Office level members. And at the end there, she was asking Dejanay, I think her name was, who would you have picked if I wasn't hurt? There's nothing stopping them really from allowing her to be on the team, especially in light of what happened. They would have been able to observe her at tryouts. And she can still be on the team and be hurt, as they called it, and she would be afforded all the privileges of the other girls. She just obviously wouldn't be able to go out on the field and cheer whenever they cheer or whatever they do during games. But she could still be on the team, and if she heals early enough or quickly enough, she could, of course, participate at that point. But I really enjoyed that episode. Thank you again to the channel member that recommended it. You know who you are. And also, a quick reminder, if you're not subscribed to the channel, take a minute and click the button below to subscribe. I really appreciate it. I'm going to leave the video here. Thanks again for watching until the end, and I'll see you on the next one here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.